Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I really hope that you have been looking forward to seeing another video from me. I've been getting a lot of requests on Instagram, so I'm super happy that I've come up with fun ideas on there that you guys are asking me all about, and taking pictures of actual looks that are interesting. And how you guys going? Okay, so I need to know, because I think it had been like over a year since you guys pretty much asked about a look that I was wearing, and it's been about like over a year since I felt really creative again, and I feel like I burned out all my creativity on everybody else's face except my own, which is what you want if you're doing makeup, but not essentially what you want if you're running a social media platform. I feel the need to wear a lot of fun colors. I feel the need to wear very unique, different looks and express my freedom and creativity when I'm off. That's kind of cool. I like that. Anyways, since I am a makeup lover, wearing makeup or playing around on my face on my days off definitely is fun, and it is a creative adventure for me. Of course, we all want to look nice 100% of the time, but we don't always have the energy for it. So basically, when we put on a little bit of color, we generally feel a lot more better about ourselves. At least I do. I do feel like I have more spirit or something when I make myself put on a little bit of something. Today's look was very requested, not only because of the eye look. It's kind of unblended. You don't need a lot of skill to do it, but it looks kind of fun. So it's just sexy. So I think that's why people like it. Of course, there pretty much is no base eyeshadow color with this look. It's all about the fun play of the blush and the lips. So you can always do pigments on the eyes. Of course, that will definitely change the eye look as a whole. But pretty much the whole idea of this is being able to take a sculpting palette and creating an entire look, not counting the color accessories. If you work in a business that doesn't really allow you to wear a lot of colorful eyeshadows, this look can be a godsend for you, because if you go out after work, you wipe off that nude lip, natural lip, whatever, and put on something fun, you are ready for a night out on the town. So I really feel like this was a look I wanted to do for you guys, and just the execution. You can execute it too. You can execute it too. It sounds so deadly. You can make it happen too. And it's just really messy too. It's fun. Also, let me know what you guys want to see in the comment section below. If you guys are interested in seeing more outfits of the day and stuff like that for me, I would be very inclined to do those as well. And I'm also kind of working on new hairstyles. I really want to practice my hairdos. Okay, so to get started on today's look, I've already applied my eye cream and of course my eye primer, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Pro Base #1. It's a really nice waxy sticky base. It's void of silicone, and believe it or not, I get asked a lot what eye primer I'm using and what makes my eyeshadows pop. This for me has been the creme de la creme of eye primers, because it doesn't really have a lot of emollients in it that really give it a chance to have a lot of give and go. I also really enjoy the Coverall eye primer if you're looking for anything else, but I do know on a lot of people that particular eye primer does have a lot of give, and it's very creamy and very emollient. I've chosen a very interesting palette that I know a lot of you probably didn't think of using for this particular look, and it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Maya Mia palette. You could take this palette or the Anastasia Tamina palette, whichever one you have. It should have some nice smoky colors that will work 100% for this particular look. To get started with this look, we're going to take the base tone, which is Nude in the Maya Mia palette, and the Diluting Tool 785, and we're going to take any form of a tapered blending brush and start blending out this look. I'm going to take the base tone first before any of the darker colors, because it will make the blending in this particular look a lot easier and a lot more no fuss. This will basically take the heavy stickiness of the eye base down and stop the creasing right on contact with this powder. You can even take a face powder if you don't have something like that. Now, for the neutral shadow, we're going to start with one of the creamier colors in here. Now, the reason I'm selecting this palette, the Mia Mia, is because it does have a lot more base tones, a lot more matte tones in it, so it's going to be easier to complete the idea of this look. But like I said, the Tamina, you can definitely use that Tamina palette as well. I know a lot of people have that. So we're going to be taking warm taupe, and it's just a little bit warmer than like a sandy neutral taupe that you can get sold at MAC or Wet n Wild. Those usually have shimmer in them, but if you have nothing else, you can take a shimmering neutral color as well. I'm going to start in the outer corner of the eye, get the majority of the pigment rolling there, and diffuse the remaining product that's on my brush through the crease. It's really all it's about. So I'm going to be taking Caramel now, and I believe the color Bengal is very similar to this in the Tamina palette if you're following with this. I know that the Tamina palette can be easier to find than the Mia Mia just because a lot more people like mattes. But like I said, this particular look should look just as good, as this look using shimmers because of the way we're blending. Now, before we graduate to these severely dark tones, we're just going to go ahead now and take Nude and retouch the brow bone. I don't want to get any black on the brush before the brow is perfect and defined of the brow bone. We're going to go ahead and break some of the rules. They say not to take a really high intense shimmer shadow for the brow bone, and this one is only lightly incandescent. And the reason they say that is because you don't want to create a drifting brow bone or a brow ridge, like a caveman basically. This is not really an area to put a ton of dimension. If you don't have a lot of dimension on your brow ridge, a little shimmer really won't hurt you at all. I think it's kind of been said before that the origins of the YouTube videos have sort of changed or graduated not only into softer looks, but we've also seen the decline of blending out colors to an extent. A lot of original beauty videos have been replaced with fashion videos. And while it's always good to have some change, sometimes it's kind of good to remember or kind of go back, like, where did we leave off some of the blending? And back when YouTube started, it was all about transitioning colors and colors and colors. Not only is this a classic method through artistry, it's also a very key method through hair color as well. But just to create that one more dramatic line of effect, we're going to take Sienna, and we're just going to build one more layer of brown. We've taken all of the really happy neutrals. We've taken the lightest neutral and created a shadow. We've taken the deeper brown and we've created a nice nuance, and now let's add some color. Sienna is going to be one of our colors, and this particular color is not going to be too heavily blended out, which is why I'm taking it, because we want to take some of the heavier shading, some of the unblended shading that was done with this look, and sort of break the rules. This is really just about unrefined blending. Back when a lot of us started on YouTube, a lot of our blending needed to still be kicked up a few notches. Sort of the inspiration behind this look is sort of left with an unblended crease like that. I'm going to be taking deep brown, and we're just going to go in the outer corner, the very outer corner. This used to be extremely popular to do on YouTube back in the day. A lot of people now kind of call it like poor blending, poormanship, and we've kind of grown further since that. In a sense, it sort of has become an artistry movement here on YouTube to go through the stages that we did, in the way that art has gone through different movements and stages. There's Picasso, where it's all about pop art, and then there's the Renaissance period, it's all about refined art, and there's just all these different sort of movements of art. It's not necessarily that just our skills have gotten better as we've learned how to blend, but we've definitely gone through different times and trends. One of the biggest questions I get asked when it comes to eyeliner is color. Will white make my eyes look sparklier? Will dark brown make the color in my eyes enhanced, and will black make my eyes stand out a lot more. Those are three very different eyeliners, and quite essentially everybody wants them to do the exact same thing. A white eyeliner can make your eyes look bigger, but if applied incorrectly, it can make your eyes look scary. A black eyeliner can make your eyes look bigger if applied correctly, but on some people with already small eyes, it can make the eye look smaller. That can be a very sexy look for people who are very confident and want that really beautiful smoky look and are willing to put on some mascara. But on the other hand, black is a flat color with no dimension and will not draw out your eye color. That's where we go to when it comes to brown. To me, this is like the secret in edgy colors. It'll really dramatize your eye color to add some color. Because brown is a mix of all the colors, basically it's a mix of split complementary colors. You can have a blue orange brown, you can have a green red brown. So for the eyeliner on this look, it's very heavy, very full, and very dramatic. That's basically what gives it its sultriness, not the fake lashes by any means. So I'm going to be taking the Becca Ultimate Gel Liner in the shade Romanesque, and this is essentially a natural variation of a matte black liner. I kind of started playing with this eyeliner when I worked in natural skincare because we weren't really supposed to wear anything we really couldn't sell off our face. And this one has a very natural vibe to it. It goes on pretty sheer with one coat. With 2 or 3 coats, it could be kicked up to a nice full rich matte black. I like this one because we really don't need to wear inky heavy black liner every single day. It doesn't really need to be that intense, and I kind of like my natural look to shine through, so I'm kind of all for this one. It kind of breaks me out of my shell. So for foundation, I'm going to be taking the Physicians Formula Nude Wear Foundation. I have the lightest shade, and if you're somebody who's porcelain, this may not work for you. I am not dark by any means, but when I say porcelain, I mean you like really true porcelain. I consider myself light right before you get to the last 2 or 3 maybe. And what I just like to do with foundation is clean up the canvas. So I take very short strokes. Now, can you see all that etching? This is basically the map to sculpting the face. This isn't really necessarily to conceal. I do put a little bit here because I have some natural redness in my cheeks, and it does sort of help sculpt it so I don't have a lot of natural pink flush below my blush. So that's basically why I do it. It's not really to conceal anything. And this concealer is applied very sheerly because we're sculpting, not really covering anything. So we're not going to use it as a mask or anything by any means. Work with my skin. If you need to take more of a stippling motion, do whatever you got to do to apply that so it's somewhat visible but blended in. We're going to be taking Warm Taupe again underneath the eyes. That would have been perfect. Vanilla. If I wanted it to be perfect, I would have taken a clean brush before applying this to outer corner, or the inner corner, sorry. It's not going to be clean at all. Dark brown. Now for the high planes of the cheekbones, we're going to be taking Illamasqua Gleam, and this is a really beautiful soft highlighter. It's not thick or heavy by any means, and we're just going to put this on underneath the eye. Now in the original look, I took a very short pair of false lashes. They were the 110s. That's not necessarily necessary with this look. Taking a face powder today, we're taking the Wet n Wild Coverall powder, and this is actually a really good inexpensive highlighter. I mean, a really good inexpensive face powder. So I'm going to be taking the Hourglass Diffused Light powder. And we're just going to place that underneath the eyes. Now, some people are known for using the diffused powders as setting powders. Definitely just depends on everybody's personal skin type and, of course, their personal skin tone, because some of the diffused setting powders are the same color as people's skin tones. For me, none of them really match. I do know some people like to use these as a setting powder, but for me, it's not the exact same color at all, and definitely appears as a highlighter on my skin tone. So I'm going to be dusting this on. So today's blush of the day is of course Illamasqua Lover. You can go ahead and take whatever other blush you want. The original look I did, I used Hourglass Ambient Lighting blush in the shade Magenta, Radiant Magenta. So it's a fun way to play with all those vivid, crazy colors. And in my opinion, even more fun and playful are the crazy bright lips and blushes. Oh yes, that playtime on the eyes for me is so fun. But I love bright blush. I love bright blush and lipstick. Anyways, Illamasqua Lover is a really fun color, and just about any soft peach blush I've ever had, it oxidizes quite heavily. So if you want it to stay that beautiful soft peach you saw in the pan, only apply 1 or 2 coats because it will oxidize to a much more intense orange color rather than an apricot. First, just something to bear in mind, the original lip color I took was Wet n Wild's Dark Wine. You don't need to spend a lot of money on makeup these days to get beautiful high impact color. Doing Inglot 67. We all know beautiful berry tones are really in right now, especially like chocolate cherry hair. That's like the new color this particular year. Although I typically see a lot of red and blonde hair color come out around this time of year. But right now it is kicking. That chocolate cherry is kicking. So a lot of people want that burgundy lip. What's also really popular this time of year, however, are very vivid, brightly colored lips. One of the colors I showed on IG was Sweet Nectar. A lot of people thought it was a high-end color. This is, I think it's from the new Milani collection. They got rid of those funky Milani colors that had those sweet smells. This is a lot easier to take. And I think they recontinued Rose Hip in this formula as well. But it was almost worth putting up with because it was so gorgeous. Okay, so this is that look, that gorgeous look you all loved, using Radiant Magenta and Dark Wine lips. So I gave it another go with a different high-end blush, the same face, the same eye. I only took off the lashes and I put on a lot of mascara. Those lashes are short anyways. So I forgot my contour, and we're going to go in with Havana to really make that sculpting come alive. So we're gonna take the darkest bronzer. I never really take this one, but we already have the very soft cheek going, and we want that highlighter to really come out. And there's the contour. Brought to you by I Forgot. Thank you for watching.